Well, now I'm at the Lothric Castle and there's that weird ass creepy lady, so hey, I've already killed some of those lots of cinder, so may I something?
What is wrong, unkindled one? Are you not a Lord Seeker? Head to the base of the high wall and seek the Lords of Cinder.
Yeah, I found them, alright.
Is this not the calling of your kind since ages past?
Oh yeah?
What is wrong? Are you...
Well, I don't like to hear you, so...
Lord, it must be. My dear Prince Lothric.
Oh yeah, they are lamb letters, so time to pick this whatever she had. Basin of Valves. One. With a brutal murder, I have summoned forth a sinister closing of doors. That's actually just visual trick. Triply goop. And a shadowy figure with feminine appearance. Yeah, yes. The most beautiful boss of entire game, if not whole Dark Souls franchise. Music is exquisite. That veil she wears is just magnificently animated. And those moves are just so graceful and beautiful. Yes, she's a horrifying giant woman demon with a nice big booty. And of course you're gonna slap the booty with a sword. And she's very good at murdering you. But you should remember, but this is I'd say one of the best, if not the best boss fight of the entire game. Such beauty. Those moves are just so sinuous. They are just it's just such grace and fluid. It's so fluid and graceful that it's just distracting to just look at her. And now she took out the second sword of her and dances with them. And that armor is, well, Dancer is, I don't know, was it Miyazaki's idea to bring the dancer to this game, but she is just absolutely gorgeous. And the music and this beautiful but also very bizarrely toned rhythmed music and her flaming sword attacks make this place on fire, and that veil I just mentioned, it's just so beautiful. Nothing beyond the exquisite art form of boss fight in video games. That those moves are. Story-wise, she was a knight of the Boreal Valley, or knightess. I don't know how should you say it. Female knight related to both, perhaps maybe his wife, maybe his sister, maybe his lover. Who knows? And she was sent on a mission with a catch that she will wearing that special ring, or carrying a special ring, making it so that she would eventually become insane because Pontiff Sullivan didn't want irritable knights in her domain. But I slew her. Something so beautiful I destroyed. But this crude and cruel deed of crime has opened me the endgame dungeon. Yes, even before I went to defeat the last Lord of Cinder, I opened the endgame dungeons. Some might say it's a stupid move, some might say it's actually a pretty smart move. But with the basin I now open. Once again, the statue moves. And I made Dancer look a bit easier than she actually is. Those moves are just so difficult to predict and guess where she is going and how she is going. But Lothric Castle is now open for exploration, looting and destruction. Well, there's a bonfire, so it's time to actually rest in here and go somewhere else again. Well, here I am at the Ariandel Chapel, wearing the most beautiful armor from the Dancer of the Boreal Valley, but not her helmet, mostly because that helmet has a bit of that veil. I don't like those big flailing things. So time to go and... Hello, Friday. You and I have a score to settle. You're fast, but you might forget that I have numbers on my side. Oh shit. And I have enchanted sword to give my magic points. Where she goes? Where did she go? Yes, Frida is fast, knows how to do magics, and that scythe of hers is just deadly. Slice. There she was. Whoop, missed. Whoop. And that's yeah, she is a very powerful boss. Well, knowing that she is a DLC boss means there's no reason for her to be balanced against the regular game. And the music is quite actually calm and peaceful. But now she goes down and Slave Knight Gale has arrived to the ruckus. And being a cowardly scrub, I am doing my best to let my henchmen do the actual killing part. I am just doing my best to deliver some pot shots and sucker punches. Mostly because Friede and Father Ariandel of that with the big wheelchair thingy share a life bar, meaning attacks against one hurt both. And the music has become much more epic. And of course 3-Day being now embered attacks with a much ropes. Get out of here, don't get crushed by the big bowl of fire. But this is the fire which is meant to make this world rot away. Or better say, burn away the rot of this world, cauterize this world. And now they both go down again. And I gain a Titanite slab. Friede is not out. Third phase. Third full life bar, but now she is alone. Up! He makes up that with an immense amount of dark sorceries. Or I don't know, are they dark miracles or dark pyromancies? But she's just gone nastier. And can damage like nothing else. Oh, actually, and now she wields her counter sight, or however you want to call it. Secondary sight or whatever. She doesn't want to let moves be cauterized with this world. Of course, knowing that what cauterization is very hazardous for your health because of infection risk of burns. It is that operation that you have to really be careful about. That usually it would be mobile to just take whatever wound you are having and accept it and put a bandage around it and wait. Gale went down, but he fought valiantly. Magnificent show. Well, 3-Day is quite good at short display what kind of bosses are most difficult and dangerous in Dark Souls. Humanoids, especially if they are fast and humanoids. Regular size, not gigantic humanoids, normal humanoids, like 3-Day. But it's a human. But not a invader, a boss human. There she goes. She's pulling out a trail of ice. Frost attacks. There she is. Whoop. Touch. Whoop. And now she got backstabbed. Did she go down? Yes, she goes down. She went down, so it's time to... There's no need to use that bonfire, but this world is cleaned. I will come here later to do some inspections, but now it's time to go forward to this dreg heap. That's actually quite reasonable way to build your games if somebody has DLCs. Once you have gotten through the other one, you can get to the second one. It doesn't matter even if the second DLC would actually open much later in the game, which to say right at the end. But now it is. No, that's not so. I can go here much earlier. And look at that devastation. Just something similar was in the past of Dark Souls 1 DLC of similar crammed together structures. And who is this pilgrim?
Oh, your head's square on your shoulders, is it? I thought that clamoring tin can was the last. But here we go again.
Oh.
What is it you want from this old stone-armed hag? I've nothing for you, not a smithereen. I just like to stand here and take in the view.
I have business with you.
Well, that came out of nowhere. You think an old stone-armed hag would be brimming with goodies?
Well, I think that's the only reason.
None of that. Not a smithereen.
You're probably bullshitting me. So what is she selling? Well, stuff.
At the close of the age of fire, all lands meet at the end of the earth. Great kingdoms and anemic townships will be one and the same. The great tide of human enterprise, all for naught. That's why I'm so taken by this grand sight. This must be what it's like to be a god.
That's quite bleak way to see it.
Keep your marvels intact, love. At least until I lose mine.
So, the dreg heap. This is the place where end of the world is really happening. Just before the collapse of all reality into itself to a horrifying mess of unknown goop or whatever. This is it. And that message is left by the Gale, so me must have come here already. But for what purpose, I do not know. Well, time to return to bonfire and go somewhere else. Which is quite much of my policy in this game. Go to bonfire, go somewhere randomly, or quite. Now, there's an interesting tidbit about after defeating Friday.
Might that soul be? Nay, never mind. It belongs to a woman from London. To provide succor for the Lord of Hollows surely would bring her much honor. In return, thou needst only do her a small kindness. Remember those who stayed by her to the end, in the shadows cast by fire.
Oh, that was interesting.
Ah, greetings, our lord and liege. Good tidings. Thy spouse is ready. The time is ripe to greet her. The girl awaits thee in the hidden dark moon chamber of Anor Londo. So thou mayst a true monarch become.
So I have an arranged marriage to myself. That sounds actually fun. It's time to, and I think I'm gonna go and say hello to wife. And there is the secret chamber of the dark moon. And I think it would be rude to wear a hat or helmet in your wedding if it ain't fancy enough. So what's this pilgrim?
Welcome, our gracious lord. Your spouse awaits you. You are very near. Please, take the sword of avowal. May you be the truest lord of Londor yet.
You know, you should take some eucalyptus. And they didn't model it, but that gesture is all.
Your spot, mate.
Alright, I have some sort of wedding ring, but it's a sword. There was some dude, I guess. This was the place where Dark Sun Gwendolyn was. He at time led Knights of Dark Moon, but this ain't wedding. Where's the priest? Or some kind of altar, but there she is. For time to perform my rite. This has some sort of feeling of necrophilia. But she wore an armor which covered her face, so I don't even know how she looked like. But I guess this deed is something which has to be done to become Lord of Hollows. To complete my hollowing, bear the dark sign. As in the sun is already fading. Actually it was dark sigil. And she is there. Like so. And here is a ring. Behind that big altar is a ring of reversal. It's quite fun. And is there anything else on the other side? Going to check. Nothing but darkness. I guess it's time to return through this long corridor, which was a battlefield in some other time, when Lords of Londor were still real. There were few of them left, and their god was also extant, although becoming weaker. And that guy just killed up dead. But he had a spell, which I looted. So everything works out just fine, at least for me. Now, exploring the Lothric Castle, the final area of the basic game. And that place looks familiar, and that door, or I say that place looks quite unpleasant, but there's this side path. So it's better to go and start exploring this one. Yes, indeed, Lothric Castle is so big that they have a garden in there. Which, well, must be guarded by this big guy. But that big guy being a big guy means he can be chopped up quite easily. So time to pull this lever and wait for the agonizingly slow moving elevator to arrive from quite agonizingly deep pit. But it's quite fancy looking elevator. It even looks to have a carpet. But this is my stop. That's kind of dangerous thing to make it. Consumed King's Garden. Interestingly enough, as you could see, this land of Lothric, one of the Lords of Cinder is Prince Lothric of this land. But his king, well, briefly stating, he is not the last, over to say the last only remaining member of his, what would be the word, house, clan, yeah, house. I guess that's the word they use when they refer to ruling dynasty. Yes. So this consumed king who actually resides here might also have been part of that little club or system, or however you want to call it. Up. Whoop. Well, I'm not gonna pick fights with them. Come on, buddy, give up. Oh, he doesn't. So I have to fight and kill him. But that wailing over there doesn't sound too inviting. It sounds like some sort of baby crying. So it's time to do some prep work, get myself a protective ring on, and also restore my ember just in case to get some bit extra health. Let's see, is there any possible dudes to be summoned? Nope. Come on, buddy, give up. So it's time to traverse the fog here. And again a cutscene about. But no, that's just nasty looking. Most of these bosses in Dark Souls are.
You ignorant slaves. Finally taken notice, have you?
He looks like a bit like dragon.
My beloved Ocelot, child of dragons.
You know, there's nothing.
Well, I will not give him up.
You look some sort of disgusting mashed together of scaleless dragon and a human. And he's carrying something. And he carries something only he can see. Yep. Nope. Doesn't seem to be particularly sane. Whoop. And the Mario stomp. So, what the...
Dragons, what could you possibly fear? No. Show yourself, Ocelot. My dear little Ocelot.
He dropped. So there was no child, and now his father noticed it. Going crazy. I guess he has nothing to keep him from being just completely insane now. He was already insane, but now he's just violently insane. And being loud. And no longer sorcery, just brutally attacking me with his physical might. There's no... Oh yes, in Dark Souls there's lots of also these boss fight characters of insane disposition, which is to say they are clearly mentally unhinged from whatever they are going through. He's going fast, but I'm cutting his ass to bits thanks to massive amount of over-leveling. Consumed Osiros. And that... Oh, that guy was a patient one. He just waited right behind that door to either hear death scream of me or wait for me to come back. Very admirable amount of persistence from you. I just thought he would have just... But he can't go to the room. Those are in a sense quite funny cases. Clear path to go, but the enemy just rams right stop on you. But he can still spot you and get aggroed by you. But he can't just get closer. Of course, the attacks may reach you through that threshold. But generally speaking, that might not be the case. So what the hell are these? They are tablets. And there's a... That looks like some sort of snake monster from Sen's Fortress, except it's instead of armor, it just has rags on. Yeah. This is some sort of dragon place, or approaching. Path of the Dragon. That's actually, in a sense, that's a gesture, but it's also a key item which allows to get to the bonus place. Well, even further bonus place. So what is here? More Titanite scales. And that was a secret door leading to untended graves, and this place has more than a passing resemblance to Cemetery of Ash. But it's time to go somewhere else once again. Now at the Irithel dungeon. Well, every city which has some sort of every place which has some sort of insane self-proclaimed pope as leading it, and especially if that needs to have a dungeon. Dungeons are a great thing. Well, actually not necessarily, but dungeons are necessary for games like these. Hell, you can fit the whole game to a big enough dungeon, and that guy whom I just killed is a jailer. What the hell are you doing there? And they are dangerous. Not because of that whatever foggy breathing attack they do, that's mostly just for show, but it's something else. It's a completely another ball game which makes them really dangerous. It's not only that they have that brand which they love to slap your bum with it, and of course that will hurt a lot. And the fact that such getting your ass branded with a hot iron brand also makes you slow down, and of course that gives them a new opportunity to give you more brandings. Which means, yeah, like that. I'm not gonna let that. And there's also the fact that they can sap your health down just by being there on your line, in their line of sight, will drain your health. And once the drain is finished, you have still taken a lot of damage from that, so you wanna run into their face and chop them up as fast as you can, and preferably as brutally as you can. Or better say, not as brutally, as fast as you can. If you want to be as brutal, you want to use some that kind of weaponry, and which does not kill them fast. And those things are whatever slug monstrosities. They're also here. There's jailers, there's prisoners, and there's some sort of weird prison slugs. Oh yes. One very pleasant place. Oh, a jailbreaker's key. Well, that's nice. I have more keys. But how would be a jailbreaker needed a key? Surprise, motherfucker! Don't even think! Yep, that's the brand attack. It cripples you completely. The fact that it's so quite telegraphed doesn't make it anything less dangerous. With that... Oh yes, fuck. Those are bastards. Oh, they're dead. So it's time to continue. And... I don't like you screaming and attacking me suddenly. So I will kill you for that. And... these things again. I can do... the undead settlement was a place which had these things. And I really don't know what the hell are they. Are they just people cramped to that kind of cage until there's no more fit room for people in there? But yay, that's shiny. And shiny would lure you to the ambush of that spear dude. Quite basic trickery from Dark Souls. Not the most unusual trick, but quite within. Because Dark Souls doesn't always put those kind of ambushes. There's sometimes those ambushes, but not every time. But there's enough of them that you wanna... There's not enough of them so you would always get to expect them, but there's certainly enough to make them dangerous and a real peril. It's very fine balance, because if there's always an ambush, player will always knows to prepare for it, and they actually never work. But if there's not enough ambush, there's enough treasure ahead. Oh yep. And a mimic. Yes, that's a mimic. It's a big mouth with chest in there. And no, you're not gonna hug me. That hugging attack is instant kill. It kills you right away. Maybe not technically, but practically it kills everybody and everything in one go. Period. Fuck you. End of report. Next case. And these are not those nasty prison... I guess these are just some guards or something. For they have the similar mask than those jailers, but they don't carry those brands or lanterns. They just carry machetes and hammers. And crossbows, but I'm not gonna even humor the whole thought of getting stuck with those things. But this you can quite easily be called to be the most grimmest and dourest place of the whole Dark Souls 3. Very just it. Hell, you can even smell the damp. Feel by just looking at this place. You just don't want to be here. It's just so grim, dour. Dark rock, nothing, rats, some weird monsters, but not... It's just unpleasant place. Looks unpleasant, sounds unpleasant, and it's also quite fucking long. It's an unpleasant slog. Oh, look at that, a giant rat. There aren't many of these things in this game. Although everybody who has even slight amount of knowledge would know that giant rat is a critter you don't want to meet. It would be big, and rats are quite unpleasant things if they are unpleasant things to you. And don't you puke your snot and at me, you little bugger. Actually, you're not a little, you're a big bugger. But don't you puke your snot on me. Tailbone short sword. A faint coal. I guess that's that kind of coal which has been insulted. With all kind of things like you're nothing but a burned wood. Do you think you are anything special? No, you're not even a burned wood. You're bad, moldy crop. I should have used you to make more of coal. And I roll a battalion of guards. And look at that health strain. It's just so fucking fast. And it doesn't stop practically ever. It won't kill you, but it practically will kill you. And at that phase, that bugger is active, aggroed. So I must actually use this old-fashioned method of luring them out one by one, and that's not particularly interesting, so I'm gonna kill them off camera. Oh, that took some effort. Not enough to kill, but enough to that it demanded lots of weaving in and out, putting some arrows and getting back. And there's the red-eyed bastard just glaring at me, and I don't like that kind of dudes just with red eyes just glaring at me. Oh, but it's time to go and check this door. And there's somebody with a nice hat.
Oh, there you are. I thought you'd all but forgotten me. How sweet. Good to know that a skinny little heretic can still turn heads.
Well, I can't. No, I don't see what kind of you are under those rags.
Hmm? Oh, you're not one of them, are you? Accept my apologies for mistaking you for one of those leeches.
Were those big things
So,
leeches?
What business have you here? This is a land of monstrosities, and I am no exception.
Well, join the club, and I want to
You're
help.
here to save me,
Well, not particularly.
But
You
I'm
just
guilty.
came here.
a wretched child of the abyss. Is that something you can forgive?
I still save her
really?
because
You are no ordinary
I
man.
think personally that birth
Very well.
should not
Besides,
define that.
I've grown tired of
Do you have a
imprisonment.
chance of redemption or
I
not?
am
That is, you are
calm.
not damned
and
to
I
oblivion
accept
or
your
hell or
proposal.
damnation just because you were born as something. That it would be wrong. There is nobody born evil. That is how I say it. So, of course, conditions may twist somebody evil, but conditions themselves are to blame in that case. Not that, well, genetics and all those also apply. Oh shit, that was a nasty howl. That was there just to scare you. Well, yeah, that somebody was born something like whatever, because men can't decide how they are born. Their parents can, but men can't decide how they are born. So being born some way doesn't not automatically make you those doomed to eternal damnation just because it just feels wrong. Because Usually those who say that birth defines how you should go about those eternal damnation things are usually quite eager to damn people in this life as well. And also do not consider the fact that, hey, maybe they might be good applicants for damnation. But that was a big, bulky, smoky gargoyle, and I have reached Profaned Capital. An underground hole in the ground with buildings. This is completely ruined. And London was old, but it had some kind of use. This is just a complete ruin. Nothing is in here as it was meant to be. It's all just forgotten junk. Scrap, just waiting to be discarded. So it's time to rest at the bonfire and go wander somewhere else.